Now, as the Iraq inquiry enters its third week, Tony Blair's decision to go to war has been described as a foreign policy disgrace of epic proportions. Those words are those of Sir Ken MacDonald, the former Director of Public Prosecutions. Mr Blair is due to give evidence to the inquiry in the new year, as Nicholas Witchell reports.
Week 4 of the hearings, and the pressure is mounting on Sir John Chilcot and his team to sharpen up their efforts. Today, once again, the inquiry heard from senior British Army officers. They described the interference from Washington, specifically from the then US Defence Secretary Donald Rumsfeld, who was reluctant to accept what was happening on the ground.
There was reluctance for people to call it an insurgency, and I think Secretary of Defence Rumsfeld had instructed that it wasn't to be called an insurgency. I think he called it a bunch of no-hopers carrying out some terrorist acts.
And the British Army got it wrong, they said, in sending senior officers to Iraq for only 6 months at a time.
You were treated as passing trade. They knew that, I'm talking about Iraqi interlocutors, ministers, would know that, the next time you came through their door, you'd be saying goodbye.
It's probably still a month before Tony Blair comes to give evidence at the inquiry, yet once again his actions are central. The former Director of Public Prosecutions, Sir Ken MacDonald QC, has accused Mr Blair of a foreign policy disgrace. In an article in this morning's Times, Sir Ken said that it was now very difficult to avoid the conclusion that Tony Blair engaged in an alarming subterfuge with his partner George Bush and went on to mislead and cajole the British people into a deadly war they had made perfectly clear they didn't want. And Sir Ken had this warning for the Iraq inquiry team. If Chilcot fails to reveal the truth without fear, the inquiry will be held in deserved and withering contempt. For Sir John Chilcot and the inquiry team, the challenge then is to be more challenging with their questions. For Tony Blair, the task, when he comes to give evidence, will be to convey what's said to be his continuing moral conviction that what he did was right. Nicholas Witchell, BBC News, at the Iraq inquiry.